Yo, it's the Puzzhead, and for a while there was a bunch of questions on the forum about how to get out the little bushings or stud holes or whatever you want to call them inside of Tune-O-Matics. And since I'm blacking out the Eclipse, I figured I'd show this real quick. Because a lot of guys just sit there and they try to yank them out and end up scratching or damaging the finish on the guitar. And there's a real easy way to do it. I have here an old used one, and if you look inside of the guitar body, you'll see that all of these are actually hollow at the bottom. You can see right through them. And I'm going to do the ones for the Tune-O-Matic bridge here, but the same thing will work for the stop bar. Although the good thing about the stop bar is that they almost all have the polished metal or the non-polished metal finish, and they're all almost exactly the same size. These are usually glued in, so they're a bit bigger of a pain to get out, but they'll work the same way. I've got the bushing from an old one here just to kind of show before I start doing it with the guitar. But what I have is I have just two small screws. And these are actually from when I was doing the electrical work on my house. These just used to hold an outlet into the wall. But the reason I picked these is because they fit directly inside one of the studs. They go all the way through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have it go into the wood and just stay just like this. What's going to happen is you can take the new stud piece and screw it in, and what's going to happen is that I can't do this one-handed. What's going to happen is that as you screw this in, damn it, it's actually going to push the screw down and out of the bottom of this, and it's going to push against the wood. What's going to happen is that the screw is more rigid than the wood around it, so it's actually going to cause this part to rise out of the wood. This is going to push against the wood at the bottom of the body of the guitar, and it's going to shove it up. And I've heard people say, well, but you got to be careful because it's going to shove its way through the wood. And my answer is, unless it's a really thin guitar, or you won't have to worry about that. There's enough wood at the bottom of these holes that it won't matter. And if you do screw it up, is it really a guitar you wanted to play anyway? So I'm going to try to get this set up and give you guys a way to see what it is that's going to work. Okay, so as I said, I'm just going to take the screw here, just drop it right inside of the bushing, and take an old stud, just like me. You can email your comments later. And then just take it right in the top and be real careful. But these for the stop bars usually aren't into the finish. If you see finish overlapping, just take an X-Acto blade or something and carve around it. But if you're real careful, you shouldn't scratch the finish. You see, as I'm tightening it down, it's pulling right out. So by the time you get to here, you're letting the threads do all the work instead of sitting there and putting your foot on one end or whatever the hell I see people do to get these things out. And once you get the piece out, turn it over, out falls the screw. And this is a good length screw. You can buy them, or get them in different lengths. If you have a real short one, you might have to get a short one and a medium and a longer one, so that if it's still in there, you might have to pull it out the last little bit or whatever. But this one has worked pretty well for me. And the same thing here at the end. Screw it in just a little bit. And just real careful right at the beginning. That's where you're most likely to screw something up. But, I mean, it's not taking a lot of force. Didn't have to do much to it. voila. There you go. Same thing applies if you're doing the stop bar pieces, but I don't really know of many reasons why you would. Since these are usually glued in, you might want to take a soldering iron tip and just warm it up to see if it loosens up some of the glue, but it works the same way. So see you later, and please make all checks payable to me, care of Pusshead at youtube.com. That's it.